found a new hustle. Music.
He was always confident. That's what struck me about him. He knew he was gonna blow.
Bringing his street edge to the rap world, 50 Cent took on all challengers.
50 just punches him in his eye.
At that point, I believe, is when Josh started to be sitting down like a woman. He started being a man.
Collecting enemies, he became a marked man.
People were coming after him because they felt he was such a threat.
They put the money on his head, and that's when everybody started getting scared.
And 9 bullets nearly ended it all.
It happened that fast.
I thought he was dead.
50 came out the other side. It's a raucous night in California, and 50 Cent is about to hit the stage at the Bamboozle Fest.
I'm nervous.
Headlining a rock festival might seem strange for a hip-hop icon, but that's the kind of power 50 Cent wields.
It's very rewarding when you make the right music. It feels so good. I'm so high when the music is...
To survive in the neighborhood, to make himself a more imposing presence on the street, he joined a youth boxing program.
I used to get my ass kicked a lot. I went to boxing gym. I learned something there. Go right across the street and try it. And start the altercation.
Like, I actually seen him break somebody's jaw before. And that's when everybody really knew, like, 50 could fight.
Everybody respected him. And if you didn't, he would make you.
To further defend himself, 50 got his hands on a gun.
And I used it a bunch of times. I didn't hit a lot of people with it, but I used that because they knew I would shoot it. It changed their whole perspective on me based on that.
I saw his life like 2 different people.
When he was 14, Curtis was arrested for bringing drugs to school. A judge sentenced him to rehab, where he quickly learned how to hustle the system.
I never really indulged in the usage of drugs, but they teach you like the 12 steps, and I had to kind of act as if to get out of it. It works if you work it, so work it. Hi, my name is Curtis Jackson, and I'm an addict.
At 17, Curtis was busted again when cops searched his home and found heroin, cocaine, and $15,000 in cash.
He was running wild at that time. His grandfather tried to discipline him, but felt that he should have done more.
You can teach a kid to be the best that he is in the world. But if he don't take it in, it ain't gonna do him no good.
That probably was one of the biggest disappointments for my grandparents, to see that I had went into that lifestyle, because that's how they lost my mom. Last guy that did it. Somehow or another, they feel like they're gonna stop right before Scarface gets shot. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't work that way.
I had to find the belly treasure, so grams I had to measure.
It was time for a radical change of plans, inspired by rappers who turned their gritty street stories into cold, hard cash. Then one day in 1996, he had a chance meeting with Run DMC's Jam Master Jay at a Manhattan nightclub.
I kind of hustled my way into a situation with Jay. I didn't have nothing. I went straight into talking to him like I knew how to do it.
I think it was the way 50 approached him. He just liked the way he said he's gonna be big.
And he was like, all right, well, stop by and hear what you got.
Curtis recorded a rough demo track for Jay.
It just went on and on and on. And so he was like, yo, what's the hook?
What Jay heard was raw, but very real. Seeing potential, he signed Curtis to his label. And just like that, the 21-year-old crack dealer had a new calling.
He told me he was working with a famous rapper. I said, you sure that's what you want to be? So he said, yes.
Coming up, 50 Cent goes on the attack.
I stated now and never again. We ain't buddies, we ain't partners, and we damn sure ain't friends.
And pays a heavy price.
You don't know if you're actually gonna survive it or not.
50 Cent, that's my name.
And later, he blows away a hip-hop icon.
It was like, yo, this 50, I quit.
I literally wanted to quit rapping at that point.
When Behind the Music continues. By 1996, Curtis Jackson had transformed himself from a streetwise drug dealer to budding rapper after being signed by Run DMC's Jam Master Jay. To complete his evolution, he created a new identity, taking the name of a well-known Brooklyn stick-up artist, 50 Cent.
For me, 50 Cent was a metaphor for change, and then I would do things my way, which would be
music, learning from Jam Master Jay.
50 would not want to leave the studio. Dude was just soaking everything in. He would just stay focused over in the corner, right.
2 years passed. Progress was slow, and 50 was frustrated that he didn't have Jay's undivided attention. Ever the survivor, 50 began the grueling process of
when he came back around after the shooting, he had slimmed up, he chiseled up.
He looked like the Terminator.
What did not kill him definitely made him stronger. 50 was ready to conquer hip-hop, but there was one problem. His label, Columbia, was scared off by all the controversy.
He was complete level 7 threat. Listen, they wanted him dead. The money was on his head. No executive wanted to be around him. They didn't want to inherit no problem. So they said, okay, let this guy go.
They dropped me. Like, I couldn't even get them to answer the phone.
50 approached other labels, but found no takers.
We went to so many record labels where executives were actually shaking while we're in the meeting, shaking, knees shaking.
We riding around, bulletproof vests on. It was crazy.
A vest and having a pistol that was already cocked was mandatory.
P. Diddy offered 50 a job as a songwriter, but he wasn't exactly thrilled to find out his new employee was packing.
Puffy was the first person to call me back to work. I was in his office, like I just heard an altercation outside, and he came in and I pulled my pistol out.
And he put it on the desk, and they were like, oh, it's really real.
I had developed the paranoia. As soon as something don't feel right, I'm shooting whoever because I'm not getting shot again.
Puff was a little like, yo, I don't need this in my life right now, which is understandable.
Bad boy for life.
He went down that road.
That was the last time he called me to write music.
Rejected yet again, 50 knew that he would have to do it on his own.
56.
But just when it seemed like everything was going his way, violence once again shook 50's world.
The rap world has lost a pioneer, Jam Master Jay of the popular group Run DMC. He was shot to death at his recording studio in New York City last night.
On October 30th, 2002, 50's mentor, Jam Master Jay, was gunned down.
A gunman burst into Jam Master Jay's recording studio and shot him once in the head.
Man, it was devastating.
When Jay got killed, it was such a surprise. I was supposed to meet him the day that he passed away. And I couldn't figure out why, like, somebody would want to do that. He's not, like, the guy that has a lot of visible enemies.
Police speculated that the hit was actually meant for 50.
They was putting out all sorts of crazy stuff. They was pretty much thinking that 50 had something to do with Jam Master Jay getting murdered.
That's enough. 50 Cent is considered a potential target by the same person who killed rapper Jam Master Jay.
So it was a very upsetting situation. The police call and they say we think someone's assassinating rappers, and if it's Jam Master Jay, then 50 must be next.
They say maybe somebody did it to send me a message.
The murder has never been solved. Sadly, Jay didn't live to see 50 Cent become a star. But 50's hedonistic lifestyle came with a cost. His relationship with longtime girlfriend Shaniqua Tompkins, the mother of his child, was falling apart.
We know each other for about 13 years. She sees all of these women, and they make her insecure. And the relationship just went bad completely.
To make things worse, 50 looked around and saw almost no one he could trust.
Everybody starts to develop a sense of entitlement, even friends. Damn, how much money you made this year? Yo, you should buy me a car. Can't even remember them loaning me $5. If I could remember, I'd give it back.
We was doing shows. I would come up with some money like, yo, here's a stack. Like, you know, touching it, right? Like, hell no, that's why I'm bringing this to you. He didn't trust nobody, so I always knew that. Never play with his money, yo, never.
But not even personal turmoil could slow down 50 Cent. In 2005, his second album, The Massacre, sold over 4 million copies. The kid from Queens had what every artist dreams of, and now all he wanted was more.
I don't see a limit to how far. I feel like I can make billions and billions of dollars.
Coming up, bam, as 50's fortune grows, so do his enemies.
So I've been constantly confronted.
The game was getting too disrespectful. He was on the radio talking mad.
He trash, you know what I'm saying? Garbage, y'all.
50 took it real personal.
When Behind the Music continues. By 2005, 50 Cent was more than just a hip-hop star. Not only was his second album, The Massacre...
To everybody. When they were thinking 50 Cent, he was thinking 50 Cent, G-Unit, the brand.
This guy still has a hustler mentality. But now we're doing the right things with our hustler mentality, not the wrong things.
50's biggest score was a venture with Vitamin Water in which he took his endorsement fee in company stock and reportedly came away with a cool $100 million.
Bam! He wanted something healthy. And I remember he's like, I want to do water. Huh? Water? Yeah, everybody drinks water. Man, that was the illest deal of the century right there. I wish I had stocks on that.
What other rapper you know got his own beverage?
We've made more money on our brand extensions than selling records.
50 Cent doesn't get caught up in controversy the way he used to. People can say what they want. Now he just laughs.
They find so many different things to say about me. Been addicted to cocaine in Croatia, been using steroids. For me, it doesn't matter. I get a chance to be the guy in the picture.
He doesn't really let a lot of that stuff bother him. It's just fuel to energize him to do the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for 50 Cent.
50 shows time and again that he hasn't lost the edge honed on the violent streets of Queens.
Shout out to everybody in South Jamaica, Queens. Keeping it real, baby.
He's never forgotten his past. It's the fuel that drives his rhymes and still pushes him in his relentless quest for success.
I think that 50 wants to go back to what made people love him in the first place. 50's a hustler. It's pretty much in his blood.
Right now, creatively, I find more significance in the struggle. I reflect on how far I've came. I can ask my mom.